This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Jim Schaller.
Welcome, good neighbors, to episode number 37 of the Good Neighbor Podcast Estero. Today we have good neighbor Kimberly Flory from Flory Financial Coaching. Kimberly, good morning.
Good morning, Jim. How are you today?
I am doing awesome. It's a pleasure speaking with you and getting to know you. So why don't we just jump right in and why don't you share with our listeners a little bit about what you do at Flory Financial Coaching?
Yes, I am a financial coach, and what I do is I help people with their mindset with money. So a lot of people think that being good with money is all about the numbers, knowing what to do, and that's part of it. That's about 20% of it, but 80% of it is actually about your mindset and getting those good habits as far as the way you spend your money and being very intentional, because it doesn't matter how much money you make. It's very easy to overspend, to get into debt, to make wrong choices and end up in a bad situation. But if you're very intentional and mindful and have those good habits like saving and doing a budget, investing wisely, and making very intentional purchases, you could be very successful with money, even though you don't have a really high salary.
That's important nowadays, especially since our money's not going as far as it used to.
Exactly.
So how did you get involved in this? Are you a financial planner at heart, or?
No. Actually, I am a pharmacist. I've been a pharmacist for 29 years.
Wow.
And just through my own journey of paying off a lot of student loans and doing all those things that normal people do when they get out of college. They get cars, they buy houses, they get into credit card debt. And I've been through all of that. So just through my journey of doing that and following the steps and changing my mindset, it was during COVID when I was thinking of going part-time and semi-retiring, which I did. But I started thinking, I think I can help people, especially young people that are young professionals like me, to help with those decisions. So I went through Dave Ramsey's financial coach master training and did that, and just started getting out there and getting the word out. And now I've been able to help, quite a few people doing, just what I know. And so, I meet a lot of clients where they are, and a lot of them are in that same situation where they have, really good incomes, but they're all over the place. They don't know what to do first, what debt to tackle first. And, that's how I got into it. And I've been loving it. And I've been loving sharing people's success stories. And it's been quite rewarding.
And that's great. It's at this stage of my career, the same thing. It's about helping people. We want to give back. We want to make sure that we're contributing back to society and the people around us to make them better. Mm-hmm. Are you seeing certain trends with people nowadays as far as their finances are concerned?
Well, a lot of the trends that I see, and it doesn't matter if they're single or a couple, I see where they're actually like opening multiple credit cards because they want to have that debt to ratio. They're worried about their FICO score. They're worried about their credit score, but they're like maxing them out and then just getting another credit card. So they have like multiple credit cards with high balances. And, that's not going to help your FICO score, because when you have a credit card, say you have a $10,000 balance, you don't want any more than $3,000 on that. You only want like 30% of usage on that. And so that's what I see. And then they're confused because there's multiple interest rates. They don't know what to pay first, but yet they have other goals. They want to buy a house or they want to get a new car, but it's hard to do that when you have all this other debt. So, that's where I go in and help them tackle that by, formulating a plan. But that's mostly what I see. I see a lot of credit card debt right now. And I mean high amounts like $50,000, $60,000, $70,000.
Wow. Yeah, because that's how people are living. Like you said, the dollar's not going as far anymore, and they've got to make ends meet. Mm-hmm. Now, I know a lot of that has changed as far as you had mentioned the FICO scores. The reporting has changed dramatically over the last couple of years and how that affects people and how that's reported correctly.
That is
right?
correct. And, different places report at different times, and not everything gets reported. So, making sure if you do have a credit card, you want one that does have, that you have many, many years, like 20, 15 years, that counts for you, making sure you're making those payments on time, and the usage is a big part of it. That's a big role of it. And, basically, what a FICO score is, it's just that score that shows that you could pay your debt. So if you don't have any debt, you could actually have a low credit score, low FICO score, but, you just don't have the debt. So I think people stress too much about that. Now, if you're going to be making a purchase, if you're going to be buying a house, buying a car, you may need to have that, but there are other ways to do that. You can have underwriting from certain other things that you have, even your utilities. You can get statements from them showing that you pay your bills on time. So it's not always having that debt, but a lot of people think that it is.
And that's it. And so we're seeing, like you had mentioned, a lot more people with carrying debt. Are they foregoing their financial planning moving forward and kind of putting it on the back burner right now and just trying to make ends meet? Or are people thinking about what they need to do down the lines?
I think they know what they need to do. They just are procrastinating. And I have, many, many clients that are in that 40-year range, 50-year range, even 60, and they really don't have any retirement set aside. So I think that they're planning on using Social Security, but, that can change. I know I'm 52, and I know that I'm not going to be able to get the full Social Security. I'll probably only get 75% of that. So a lot of people are, looking to something that may not be there 100%. So they need to change the way they're thinking, and just, if they get that, that's a bonus. But they need to really change that mindset and start planning. And, getting rid of the debt is really the best way so that you could focus on, that retirement.
Yeah, and that's important because, even as we get older, we find ourselves in some situations becoming the caregivers. So now we're taking care of our parents or our relatives and as well too. And that's I want to say another financial burden, but there is a cost involved with some of that as well too.
Exactly.
So are people planning for their future, or are they just like I said,
most of them are kind of just winging it, to be honest with you.
Right.
The people that I meet don't really have a plan in place. And, I've met also a lot of single women that are older that, if their husband passes away, they don't even know what to do with their finances. And, if you're married, I think that both people should be involved and have a say, because, if anything happens, say you get a divorce or your spouse passes away, you need to know what to do and have those things set aside. And not just the financial planning as far as the money, as far as like IRAs and investments, but also having a will, that type of thing. Because if you don't have that in place, that can lead to a whole other set of issues.
Yeah, and it seems like if you don't have those plans in place, that that money goes elsewhere instead of where you probably intended it to go to.
Exactly.
So outside of the debt, I mean, I know the economy has changed quite a bit over the last couple of years. Are you seeing any other types of effects on what people are doing outside of the debt?
Well, I see a lot of people just trying to do things for that quick fix, like investing, instead of like doing it when you invest. I'm not a financial advisor, but low and slow is the way to go. The long term, just making those regular investments. When you're investing, it should not be exciting. It should not be a roller coaster. It should be like, set it and just let it ride. And that's what I've done since I was 23 years old. And it's paying off now. But people that, want that excitement, especially like with the cryptocurrency and stuff, which I don't know that much about it, but I know that could be a scary ride. I know people that are checking that every single day, every hour, because it's changing. And, that's too stressful. Investing should not be stressful like that. I know the market goes up and down, but if you look over the, many, many years, 50 years, it's been pretty average. And people are trying to do that quick fix, and I don't recommend that at all.
It's like when you're cooking something in the oven, you can't keep opening the door and checking on it. You got to just let it sit in there and wait till it's finished. So you live in Southwest Florida. Are you from here originally?
No, actually, I'm from Pennsylvania originally. I was born and raised there. I went to school there. I went to college. I went to Duquesne University in Pittsburgh, where I got my pharmacy degree. And then I just went over to Ohio. I was there for 4 years after college and, enjoyed that. But then I decided I wanted to buy a house, and my family started moving to Tennessee. So I moved outside Nashville, and I was there for 12 years. And I really, really enjoyed it, the change of seasons, everything like that. But then, I started visiting my friends in Florida and thought, well, I can do a change. So I've been here now about 13 years, and that's where I met my husband, who was born and raised here, and, just have been enjoying the weather, definitely.
Yes, and that's why we live down here.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate what you're doing and sharing your knowledge and your experiences with the people here in the community. How would our listeners go about getting a hold of you if they wanted to, learn a little bit more?
Yes, definitely. They can go to my website, which is www.floryfinancialcoaching.com, or they can call me. My phone number is 615-482-7762, or my email, it's Kimberly@floryfinancialcoaching.com. And, when they contact me, I do a 30-minute consultation, which is complimentary, where I can get to learn about their situation and even see if coaching is right for them.
Perfect. Well, Kimberly, thank you for being such a good neighbor. And we look forward to seeing you out there in the community.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Estero. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpestero.com. That's gnpestero.com. Or call 239-296-2621.